Hey guys, so if you're watching this clip, you are watching our very first YouTube clip. So my name's Warren and behind the camera is my girlfriend Emma. We just love going out camping, four-wheel driving, adventuring, going on trips, sometimes with my little daughter Georgia, who's 5, and sometimes on our own as well. So we decided we would put together some YouTube clips of our trips. We always get asked questions about the trips that we go on from friends and family. We find ourselves giving people advice on what to do with your camping gear and what to do with your car and what sort of trips to go on. So we thought we'd do a little YouTube series. We love watching YouTube to gather information for our own trips. We love watching Trip in a Van. We love watching Cam Wilding. We love watching the guys at WA Camping Adventures as well. And we gather lots of information and then go off on our own little trips. What we found though is some of the trips that we wanted to go on, jumping on YouTube and trying to find information, we couldn't really find a lot of good detailed information. So we thought we'd try and give as much detail as possible in our YouTube clips going forward. We'll do some trip videos, talk about the camping gear and the things that we like to use, and hopefully people will be able to use that in their own little adventures. So this isn't a caravan page or a camper trailer page. We do not own a camper trailer and we do not own a caravan. We primarily do most of our camping in a swag or an Oz tent. If it's the 3 of us. We will be adding a trailer very soon, so we'll do another video on that when it gets shipped from Melbourne in about a month's time. So we just thought we'd kick off by introducing ourselves and then talking a little bit about the car that we love to go adventuring in. So I'm Warren, I'm a personal trainer. I've got a little Instagram page called Prado to Paradise. It's got almost no followers, so fantastic. Hopefully I'll get some more at some point. But my girlfriend Emma runs a little page called The Little Adventurer. She's got way more followers and she's way better at it. So go give us a follow to follow along in our camping adventures. So this is my Prado 120 series GXL. And it's my pride and joy. I've had it for about 7 years now, and it's definitely a mall crawler, but obviously with a few modifications, it's one of the best touring vehicles. This was one of the last, this is a 2007, so one of the last ones to have the larger capacity fuel tanks. So two 90 litre tanks, 180 litre capacity while on the road. Awesome for a petrol. It is petrol, so don't get me hassled for not having a diesel. I just like the extra power, the extra oomph. It's nice and quiet, and it's a beautiful car to tour, and it's really comfortable. It's gone everywhere that all of my mates' cars have gone, and sometimes even done a better job of it. So beautiful car to tour in. It's got 360,000 on the clock now, so she's getting older, but I feel like she's in the prime of her life. So I'm gonna run through the car in real simple detail. I feel like we're going to end up doing another video at some point on the 12-volt system and possibly do some other videos just reviewing some of the things that I've done to the car. People ask me sometimes about driving lights and awnings and things, so we might do a bit of a few different ones in a series later on down the track, but I'll go through things nice and quickly. So the car itself is pretty stock. Engine is stock, nothing's been changed. The only thing is it's got a throttle controller, but you know, you could barely call that a modification these days. Just take some of the lag out of the throttle, which is nice on the beach, great for overtaking, and you know, these can sometimes be a little bit laggy, so it was a nice little addition. Definitely not a need, but just a nice to have. I'll start with the suspension. So I had the car lifted. It's had Bilstein shock absorbers all the way around, and King springs all the way around. So it brings car about 2.5 high, and I've also gone for a slightly bigger tire too. And this is the Toyo Open Countries, which I've had on for a while, and I rate these. These have done numerous trips through Karangini, over to Windira Bandy, down to Warra Station, lots of driving, and not missed a beat, touch wood. No punctures, fantastic. I had some general grabbers before this. I really rated them as well. I never punctured those either. So proper tire pressures and good driving, and I think you can mostly get away with it. Towards the front of the car, I've got an Ecb Bull Bar, and it is an alloy bull bar, not a steel bull bar. So, you know, the more steel you whack on your car, steel racks, steel bull bars, steel side steps, it just weighs the car down. So I've gone for light and simple. This is a beautiful bar. I have no dramas with it. It's had some hits from the front, the side, had some scratches come in through the side as well, but it's held up so well. I love this bar. I also like the way the Ecb bars look with the big top tubes. Why add a bar? You can add all of your attachments. So I've got a GME onboard CB, which is inside the car, and that's just the aerial attachment for that. I've got a sand flag attachment on this side. And in terms of lighting that I've added to the unit, I've had these lights now for almost 7 years. So these are the Light Force, just 9-inch HID spotties. They're so good. Take a little bit of time to warm up, but once they're warm, they're great. I've recently added the steady 32-inch light bar at the top, and that is a game changer. So much more light spread. It's got a big spot that runs off down the road, and the pair together, fantastic. We've been able to do a lot of night driving, and we primarily do some of the longer trips with a night drive on like a Friday night. We might punch out 5 hours and drive until midnight, and it's always good. I have my compressor rerouted to the bull bar to make life nice and easy. I don't have to pop the bonnet when I want to pump up the tires. It's a nice addition, not a necessity, but it keeps things nice and flush. I hate having to pop the bonnet open all the time. I also have a solar input here for my Redarc smart charger as well. So I'll pop the bonnet really quickly and run you guys through that. So we'll do a separate video on 12 volt because I've definitely had my run of 12 volt problems. I actually had a car fire, so it's definitely a story for another video. I've got a 105 amp battery in here, deep cycle, along with my crank battery. Compressors also in the engine bay here as well. This is my Redarc smart charger. This system here has changed the way we camp. We never have power problems at all anymore. This has all been beautifully wired and fuse protected by Aspect Off-Road. Those guys do incredibly amazing work, especially if you're looking to do wiring or any car modifications, because the big modifications are done by Aspect Off-Road, and they do beautiful, beautiful work. Very, very, very clean work. And I've not had a single problem with any of the work they've done on the car. Why the Redarc? It's smart, so it chooses what needs to come from the alternator, what needs to come from the battery, what needs to be pulled from the solar. It basically feeds that system 24/7. I run my fridge in the back of the car 24/7, and we have never had a problem with the power on our trips with this system in. So definitely the 12 volt fire is a great story though, so that's one for another video. So that's pretty much under the hood. We get asked so many questions about our showering setup, so I'm going to go through that really quickly now before I just take you around the other side of the car, and that'll be the end. So we use a kick-ass shower tent. It's a great little unit. I think they're about 300 bucks. And we've had it in really high wind at Windira Bandy, and it was getting blown around everywhere, but it actually stayed strong, and we're really impressed with it. It's strategically placed over the top of this window here, so that like when you're in the unit you can zip it down, and we've got a little shelving system inside there, which I'm going to get you to have a squiz at now. So my brother has built a great little unit in here. We use this as a wardrobe, but we also use the top of it to like use as a shelf when we're showering, so we can leave all our dry gear on there and change while we're in the tent. Just keeps things nice and easy and simple and practical. Our showering system. So again, this is all been put together by Aspect Off-Road. So what we've got is we've got a 40 litre poly tank in there from Outback Supplies. And that is connected to a kick-ass 12-volt pump, and I have a priming switch on the inside of the car here, so you can do everything from inside the tent when you're showering, so it keeps it simple. You just prime it, and there she is, she's primed up. So this has got great pressure, a lot of pressure, as much pressure as your garden hose at home, which is fantastic. What we do when we shower at camp is we take off this attachment, and this one's great for like down the beach and hosing off like sandy things, boards, feet, that sort of stuff. That attachment goes into a dual car hot water system which is run on gas, and that is a game changer. We're able to have hot water showers at camp, and I think it's probably been one of the things that's really changed our camping setup. We both love a hot shower at night. I'm not one of those guys that lathers myself in sunscreen and bug repellent and then crawls into my swag at the end of the night. I couldn't think of anything more gross. So a hot shower after being in the salt and the sun and the sand all day is bliss. So we're able to take a nice showering system on the road, and I know that Emma absolutely loves it as well. The dual car system is insane, and we'll do a separate video on it when we've got it all set up at another time. If we swing around to the back of the car, nothing really to show here. We've just got a little wheelie bag. You should always take your rubbish with you. And then the King's awning, which comes out from out the back. So it's a really cheap awning. I think it was about 90 bucks online. It works pretty good. It's a nice unit. We've got another awning on the side. We've got a Rhino Sunseeker on the side, and we are considering changing this to a 270 awning or a wraparound awning just for ease of use. Oh, we've just had a chair fall out. So this is pretty much it. So the back of the car is where we live out of while we're camping, and this is a little system that was put together again by my brother. It's just some plywood that he's knocked up, put it together really quickly. It's a super simple system. Lots of storage up the top, fridge on a fridge slide down the bottom. It's just a 50 litre Waco, but it does us great. The fridge is actually hardwired to the car. There's a little Anderson plug. I can disconnect it, but mainly it's hardwired. Why is it hardwired? Because if you drive a lot on corrugations and you're just using a normal fridge socket, sometimes they can rattle loose or rattle out. And then you've got a half-warm fridge when you get to your destination. No good. So always keep it hardwired in. Little table slot. I just wanted to have that easy access. I always find that when people are packing tables, they pack them first so they're either on the bottom, so they're the last thing to come out, or at the top, they have to come out before you bring out any other gear. And that just annoys me a lot. So everything that we have in here, we can actually keep the car completely packed and loaded and still enjoy dinner or a drink or breakfast using this setup. We've got our little kitchen setup, which is actually $5 Kmart drawers. And they're taped together with some Tarzan grip tape, and it's all modular, so everything's able to come out. We can actually pull this off, pop that in the shed, and it's done. There's storage behind this system as well, where we keep like a 20 litre jerry, which is all gravity fed, and that's just our drinking water for a trip. Lots of storage down the sides, and I guess to finish off our little kitchen area, we've got a K-on table. This is a recent addition, but honestly, it's absolutely lived up to everything that K-on said. They're really, really sturdy. It can hold quite a bit of weight. We've had a big lunch spread on it over the Christmas period, and it was fine. These little K-on cages are so good for keeping all of our sort of camping gear and junk tucked away. But as you can see, we can just come into the back of the car, do ourselves dinner, get breakfast ready, make a coffee or a cup of tea, and we don't have to move things around. There's no tubs to move around, and there's no junk to move around. And our whole setup has been made so that it's nice and simple and easy. If you make camping really simple and really easy, you'll have so much fun. If you bring along everything, including the kitchen sink, and have lots of tubs and different things going on, I think camping just becomes too hard for people and they just don't want to go and enjoy it. So we feel like we can get to our destination, throw the swag off the roof, and basically drop this table down, and we're pretty much ready to go. And that really does happen quite often. Sometimes we'll do a bit more of an elaborate setup if we're doing awnings, but on a night like this, we could just come out here and enjoy a camping trip within about 5 minutes, which is pretty good. While we're on this side of the car, that is the Rhino Sunseeker awning. I love that awning, but we definitely are considering doing a 270 wraparound because it's just easier for one person to bring an awning out. And plus, if you want to go places, it's nice to bring them in and out quicker. So that's something that we're considering over the next couple of months. I've got solar screens in the back. They make a huge difference keeping the temperature of the car down in the summertime. So I really, really rate these. Everybody that comes into the back of the car finds this really noticeable difference in heat, especially if you've got kids in the back of the car as well. The solar screens just keep all the heat down. It's way more enjoyable with the kids, so too good. That's pretty much the whole setup, guys. So I can do some more detailed videos, especially on our 12-volt system down the track, because I can speak a little bit more about the solar panel that we use, and I'll definitely do a more detailed video on our showering system as well, because that's a real game changer. Thanks so much for watching our very first video, and I hope to see you guys out on the tracks.